I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace. And welcome to the show, Coffee Talk Podcast. This is the Cultural Variety Podcast show, and I am your host, Mishuma Saba, M.Saba. And this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. How y'all doing today? Welcome to the Coffee Lounge. As you can see by the background right here. How are y'all doing today? Today is July 10th. And it's Sunday. I'm sure it's the evening, late evening, so everybody's starting to unwind. This is a good time to go ahead and tune in to the Coffee Talk Podcast show. So I'm happy and I'm delighted to be here, and I'm happy that you're here. So come on in, order yourself some coffee. It's on me. You know what I'm talking about. But welcome to the show. Today we're alternating based on when we usually appear on Mondays, which is our cultural studies night. We decided to give you a Sunday night espresso. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And we definitely have something in store for you. It's a nice read, it's a very short read. Uh, and I really want y'all to check that out. And the story is titled A Home for Sun and Moon. A Home for Sun and Moon. So we're definitely going to go ahead and dive off into that. But right now, I just want you to come on in, say hello or say hi, how you doing, greetings, whatever it is. But come on in, say peace, welcome, greetings from me. But leave a comment, let me know you're here. Hit the like button, share the video, let your friends know that we on, because Coffee Talk Podcast is the show right now. You know what I'm saying? Where you get the flavor. And that's why we're here. So again, welcome to the Coffee Lounge. It's the Coffee Espresso. It's Sunday. And it's Coffee Talk Podcast. But listen, if this is your first time joining the show, we never start the show without giving it its flavor. Right? So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Tonight's flavor for Coffee Talk is Peruvian coffee. Peruvian coffee is a mild blend of coffee, a nice mild blend. Peruvian is light bodied. It's a great morning coffee or a nice soothing evening coffee just to start your day or to go into when you're ready to relax at home after a long day. So today's flavor is Peruvian coffee, and that's today's flavor. And also, we never start the show without giving it its wise words. Today's wise words comes from another pioneer, another legend of our people, because that's how we do it here at Coffee Talk Podcast. We give props to all of our great people because we are great people. You know what I'm saying? But today's wise words is from Mike Tyson, one of the baddest and one of the greatest boxers of all time. And very unique brother, man. I love listening to him. So let's go ahead and jump into his quote for today. Mike Tyson says, "Fear is the greatest obstacle to learning, but fear is your best friend. Fear is like fire. If you learn to control it, you let it work for you. If you don't learn to control it, it'll destroy you and everything around you like a snowball on a hill. You can pick it up and throw it or do anything you want with it before it starts rolling down. But once it rolls down, gets so big, it'll crush you to death. So one must never allow fear to develop and build up without having control over it. Because if you don't, you won't be able to achieve your objective or save your life." That's Mike Tyson. Y'all recall any Mike Tyson heavyweight fights? What was your favorites? What was your favorite knockout? How old were you when you first discovered Iron Mike Tyson? Do you know that Mike Tyson is the youngest heavyweight champion in history? No doubt. Go ahead and let me know what you know about Mike Tyson. Leave a comment in the comment section. We'd love to hear from y'all. You know how we do. Come on in, pour yourself some wine, some water, a cappuccino, a smoothie, whatever fits you. But come on in, keep your feet up, and enjoy the coffee session today. How about that? All right, so listen, today's show or today's story is a home for sun and moon. A home for sun and moon. It's a very short story, but I think you will enjoy it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you about 20 seconds to go ahead and grab you something to drink or kick your shoes off, whatever. You may be just getting your kid from football practice, basketball practice, baseball practice, whatever. Sports is year round. Or you may be bringing your daughter home from a friend's house or from work or whatever. But come on in. I'll give you a minute to get yourself caught up and enjoy the show tonight. All right, so let's go ahead and begin the story. And excuse me, a little drop of sweat right there. But tonight's story is out of a book titled 101 African American Read Aloud Stories. Okay, it was published by Cantor, and this story talks about uh, a myth from the Tanganyika shows how an inability to admit a mistake leads to unforeseen and unintended consequences. So what they're saying is your inability to admit a mistake leads to more problems instead of just owning it. You know what I'm saying? You have to be more accountable. So that's what this story is about. Tonight's story is a home for sun and moon. Let's go ahead and dive in. Again, welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast. At the beginning of time, sun and water both lived on the earth and were the dearest friends. Sun frequently visited where water lived, and they spent many hours chatting together. But water never visited sun where he lived, and sun started to wonder why. One day, sun finally asked his friend, How come How come neither you nor your family ever come to pay me a visit? My wife, the moon, and I would be very happy to offer you our hospitality. Water smiled and said, I do apologize for not having visited you. But the fact is that your house is far too small for me and all my relations. I fear that we would drive you and your wife out of doors. But we are about to build a new place, said Sun. Will you come and visit us if it is big enough? It would have to be very large indeed for me to come, explained Water. My people take up so much space. What if we damaged your belongings? Sun thought Water was just making excuses for not visiting him, and his disappointment was noticeable. To make Sun feel better, Water promised to visit him when his new place was ready. So Sun and Moon started to work on their new home with the help of many friends that built an enormous mansion. When it was completed, Sun said to Water, Surely you can visit us now, for our new place is large enough to hold many, many visitors. But Water was not convinced. Nevertheless, because a visit meant too much to Sun, Water began moving towards Sun's new home. Through the enormous front doors, he flowed, bringing with him thousands of fish, water rats, and even some water snakes. By now, the water level was knee deep. Do you still want my relatives and me to enter further into your home? Water asked politely. Yes, of course, replied the silly Sun. Bring them all in. So water continued to flow into the new house, and until finally Sun and Moon were forced to climb on top of the roof to keep dry. Are you sure you want my relatives and me to come into your house? Water asked again. After insisting for so long that Water come to visit, Sun was too embarrassed to admit that it was not a good idea. Instead, Sun said, "Yes, of course, I want everyone in. Bring everyone in." Finally, Water rose to the very top of the roof, forcing Sun and Moon up into the sky, where they have remained ever since. That is the story of a home for Sun and Moon. So let's go ahead and talk about the story, y'all. Did you see the arrogance of Sun? How he got himself caught up in it? Because at first he was just being polite. He was like, my crib is my crib for me and my wife, the moon. And yeah, come on. Come on, come and visit me. Why you don't visit? And Water started to say, nah, I can't come through there. You don't got enough room. So Sun took offense to that, and it's just like in our society where sometimes we be honest with people and people take offense to it instead of accept criticism or being critiqued out of love only to get better, right? But no, Son took it the other way. And he was like, man, I'm offended, man. You ain't been coming to see me. I really want you to come see me. So if I don't got room, I'm gonna go ahead and make room. I'm gonna build me a big mansion. And I use emphasis on mansion because that's the greed that brothers feel they have in the arrogance and the ego that starts to come when you have more than you need. Bill Gates, Donald Trump's, Rothschilds have more than you need. But yet a lot of people don't be honest with themselves. And so they say, come on in. You can come hang out. The Water comes. When Water comes to the mansion, he's bringing everybody. He's bringing everybody to your party. He's bringing everybody to the barbecue. But that's because you didn't communicate and say, "Look, man, I just want you to come and visit." You let the greed and everything take over the real communication. Yeah, sure, man. Come on. Got a big mansion. The greed and the material. The Water comes. And when I was reading this story, man, it started to make me think about Hurricane Katrina. That was the first thing that really came to my mind as it started to talk about how the water started to rise and how Sun and Moon had to go to the rooftop. You know, to our young viewers, that's what 20 years old. You was really young when Hurricane Katrina was going on, so you don't realize that people today, many people are still feeling the effects of Hurricane Katrina. A lot of people died, man. The levees broke. The water came in to our big old mansion, or what we thought was big, and drowned it out several parts of New Orleans, drowning it. The American Eagle got in the way. Yeah, sure, we got a big mansion. It was a good story. If you're just tuning in and you didn't really get to hear the story, rewind it back and go ahead and listen to the story, man. Try to see where it fits in with you. And I do apologize because I should have air or a fan on to wipe my sweat. I'm bald headed, So my lighting makes me sweat faster. You know what I mean? But I really enjoyed this story tonight. So again, the story we just finished is A Home for Sun and Moon here at Coffee Talk Podcast. All right. So now, as we finish up our show for today, we always like to give you our story. So we got three short our story selections that we're going to go ahead and talk about tonight. These are going to be very quick. And again, thank you for tuning in to Coffee Talk Podcast, your cultural variety podcast show. And you know it. You know it. We right here live in the coffee shop. You see us in the background. Order you an espresso or something. All right. So, as far as our story, here goes our story. Three short reflectives. The first black colleges were Shawnee State Training School in PA, Pennsylvania, established in 1837. Avery College in Pennsylvania, established in 1849. Lincoln University, PA, Pennsylvania, established in 1854. And Wilberforce University, established in 1856. Those are your first black colleges on this soil. Peace to the HBCUs. Give it up for your HBCU. And if you have a young person right now that's undecided what they want to do with themselves as far as education, look at them HBCUs as well, man. Go down there and make a difference. Go down there and learn about your culture, and you'll be all good. Yeah, that's what it is. Big shout out, big shout out. Again, for our story, next, the first black president of a major, predominantly white university in the 20th century was Clifton R. Warrenthorpe Jr., who was named president of Michigan State on October 17th, 1969. That's right, Michigan State. Um, and the Michigan State Spartans, to be exact. Gotta say that, man. Uh, who comes from out of that school. If you could tell me a five-star NBA champion, one of the greatest guards, if you can mention who that is, leave it in the comment that came out of Michigan State University. Also, in 1978, Wharton became the chancellor of the State University of New York. So, Clifton R. Wharton, we definitely want to go ahead and salute you and your intelligence, sir. We definitely want to always, always show our gratitude, tip our hats, and give our flowers to our loved ones. And as we finish the show, the last reflection of our story is this: the first black bank, the Capital Savings Bank of Washington, D.C., opened October 17th, 1888. The Savings Bank of the Order of True Reformers was chartered on March 2nd, 1888, and opened in Richmond on April 3rd, 1889, to be exact. So listen, this is our Sunday. I know. Thank you for your applause. But listen, this is our show. This is Coffee Talk Podcast. This is how we do it on our cultural studies night. Tonight we're alternating and we're giving it to you Sunday, so we won't be making an appearance Monday. But we will see you again on Wednesday. But this is Coffee Talk Podcast, the cultural variety podcast show. Thank you for continuing to support the show. Thank you for tuning in, man. We've got big love for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we just really appreciate y'all being here for us. So again, thank you for tuning into the show. I'm going to hit you with the universal peace sign. We out of here. See you again Wednesday. Peace.